Phrasal verbs are commonly used in everyday English and can be tricky to master, but don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll be able to use phrasal verbs like a native speaker. Before we dive into the list of phrasal verbs, let's make sure we understand what phrasal verbs are. Well, phrasal verbs are 2 or 3 word combinations that include a verb and a preposition. They are used to convey meanings that are different from the meanings of the individual words themselves. For example, get in means to enter. Get out means to exit. Break down. To break down means to stop working or to lose control of one's emotions. For example, my car broke down on the way to work this morning. Call off. To call off means to cancel something. For example, the meeting has been called off due to bad weather. Come across. To come across means to meet or find unexpectedly. For example, I came across an old friend at the store yesterday. Figure out. To figure out means to solve or understand something. For example, I haven't been able to figure out this math problem. Fill in. To fill in means to complete a form or to give missing information. For example, I need to fill in this application form. Get along. To get along means to have a good relationship or to be compatible with someone. For example, I get along well with my co-workers. Give up. To give up means to quit or stop doing something. For example, I gave up smoking last year. Hold on. To hold on means to wait or to stop for a moment. For example, please hold on while I transfer your call. Look after. To look after means to take care of someone or something. For example, my mom is looking after my dog while I'm on vacation. Look forward to. To look forward to means to anticipate or to be excited about something in the future. For example, I'm looking forward to my vacation next month. Look up. To look up means to search for something in a dictionary or on the internet. For example, I need to look up this word in the dictionary. Make up. To make up means to reconcile or to apologize after an argument or a disagreement. For example, they made up after their fight. Pick up. To pick up means to collect or to buy something. For example, I need to pick up some groceries before dinner. Put off. To put off means to delay or postpone something. For example, we decided to put off our vacation until next year. Put up with. To put up with means to tolerate or endure something unpleasant. For example, I don't know how she puts up with her noisy neighbors. Set up. To set up means to arrange or prepare something. For example, I need to set up an appointment with my doctor. Take off. To take off means to remove clothing or to leave quickly. For example, I need to take off my shoes before entering the house. Take over. To take over means to assume control or responsibility. For example, the new owner will take over the company next month. Tell off. To tell off means to scold or criticize someone. For example, my boss told me off for being late to work. Turn off. To turn off means to switch something off. For example, can you turn off the lights when you leave the room? Turn on. To turn on means to switch something on, the opposite of turn off. For example, I need to turn on the oven to bake the cookies. Wake up. To wake up means to stop sleeping or to awaken, right? For example, I need to wake up early for work tomorrow. Watch out. To watch out means to be careful or to look out for danger. For example, Watch out, there's a car coming. Work out. I love this one. To work out means to exercise or to solve a problem. I work out at the gym 4 times a week. Write down. To write down means to record or to take notes. For example, I need to write down my teacher's instructions. 10 very important phrasal verbs in context through a story. This way, you'll remember them and use them in your conversations. At the end of the video, I'll go over the meaning of each phrasal verb in context. So stick around till the end. Let's get started. Once upon a time, in a town in the United States, a family decided to celebrate the holidays in a unique way. The Smiths had been planning this getaway for months. They were eager to relax, bond, and create lasting memories together. The day finally arrived, and the Smiths set off on their holiday adventure. They loaded up their minivan with luggage, snacks, and their trusty dog, Max. After hours on the road, they reached their destination, a picturesque cabin nestled in the mountains. The first thing they did was check in at the front desk. Once they settled into their cabin, Smiths decided to unwind. They kicked back on the porch and enjoyed the serene surroundings. As the sun began to set, they tucked into a delicious homemade meal of grilled burgers and hot dogs. The next morning, the Smiths woke up to the sound of birds chirping. It was a perfect day for hiking, so they laced up their boots and hit the trail. Along the way, they took in the breathtaking views of the mountains and enjoyed the fresh air. During their hike, they realized they had run out of water. Luckily, they found a stream and filled their water bottles. In the afternoon, they decided to hang out by the cabin's cozy fireplace and play board games. After a few days of relaxation, it was time to head back home. They packed up their things, said goodbye to the cabin, and hit the road. On the way back, they dropped off a care package at a local shelter to spread some holiday cheer to those in need. The Smiths returned from their holiday with hearts full of joy, having shared special moments, recharged, and strengthened their family bond. It was a holiday they would cherish and remember for years to come, thanks to the adventures and phrasal verbs that made it truly unforgettable. What an incredible adventure! Let's get to the phrasal verbs, shall we? Number 1, to set off, to begin a journey or trip. The day finally arrived and the Smiths set off on their holiday adventure. Number 2, to check in, to register or report one's arrival at a place such as a hotel. The first thing they did was check in at the front desk. Number 3, to kick back, to relax and release tension. They kicked back on the porch and enjoy the serene surroundings. Number 4, to tuck in, to eat heartily or with enthusiasm. As the sun began to set, they tucked into a delicious homemade meal of grilled burgers and hot dogs. Number 5, to wake up, to rouse from sleep or become alert. The next morning, the Smiths woke up to the sound of birds chirping. Number 6, to take in, to absorb or appreciate something visually, like scenery. Along the way, they took in the breathtaking views of the mountains and enjoyed the fresh air. Number 7, to run out of, to deplete the supply of something and have none left. During their hike, they realized they had run out of water. Number 8, to hang out, to spend time in a casual or relaxed way. In the afternoon, they decided to hang out by the cabin's cozy fireplace and play board games. Number 9, to head back, to return or go in the direction of one's home. After a few days of relaxation, it was time to head back home. Number 10, to drop off, to deliver or to leave something or someone at a particular place. On the way back, they dropped off a care package at a local shelter to spread some holiday cheer to those in need. Call on, to ask or request someone to speak or participate. For example, the teacher called on me to answer the question. Number 3, call out, to challenge or criticize someone or something publicly. For example, the protesters called out the government for its lack of action on climate change. Number 4, call up, to telephone someone. For example, I'll call up my friend and see if she wants to come over for dinner. Number 5, call for, to require or demand something, often in an urgent manner. For example, the situation calls for immediate action. Call out for, to express a strong desire or need for something. For example, after a long day at work, I often call out for pizza delivery. Number 7, call back, to return a phone call or respond to someone at a later time. For example, I missed his call, so I need to call him back when I get the chance. Number 8, call in, to request someone's presence or assistance, often by phone. For example, we had to call in a plumber to fix the leaky pipe. Number 9, call off from, to take a day off from work or cancel plans because of illness or other reasons. For example, she had to call off from work because she was feeling unwell. Number 10, call upon, to ask or request someone to do something. For example, the teacher called upon the students to present their projects. To come across. This means to find or encounter something or someone unexpectedly. For example, I came across an old photo while cleaning out my room. Number 2, to come along. This means to progress or develop. For example, how is your project coming along? Number 3, to come around. This means to change one's opinion or viewpoint or to regain consciousness. For example, he didn't agree at first, but eventually he came around to our way of thinking. Number 4, to come by. This means to obtain or acquire something, often by chance. For example, can you believe I came by this rare book at a garage sale? Number 5, to come down. This means to descend or lower or to reduce in severity. For example, the price of the product came down after the sale was announced. Number 6, to come forward. This means to volunteer or to offer help or information or oneself, yourself. For example, witnesses were urged to come forward with any information they might have. Number 7, to come in. This means to enter a place or become available. For example, please come in and make yourself at home. Number 8, to come off. This means to be successful or to happen as planned. For example, the event came off without a hitch. Number 9, to come out. This means to be published or made available to the public. For example, the new novel by the author will come out next month, or my new video on British slang is going to come out next month. Number 10, to come up with. This means
to produce or to think of something, typically an idea or a plan. For example, she always manages to come up with creative solutions to our problems.
To head out. This means to leave or depart from a place. For example, we're going to head out for dinner soon. Number 2, to head up. This means to be in charge of or to lead a group or a project. For example, Sarah will lead up the marketing campaign. Number 3, to head for. This means to move or go towards a particular place or direction. For example, we need to head for the exit before the concert ends. Number 4, to head back. This means to return to a previous place or situation. For example, let's head back to the office after lunch. Number 6, head on. This means to confront a situation or problem directly. For example, we need to be prepared to head on with the challenges ahead. Head into. This means to enter or move towards a particular area or situation. For example, we're going to head into town for some shopping. Number 7, head over. This means to go or move to a specific location or person. For example, I'll head over to your place after work. Number 8, head down. To lower one's head or to move downwards. For example, the workers headed down into the mine. To make up. It means to invent or fabricate a story, excuse, or explanation. For example, he made up an excuse for being late to the meeting. He made up an excuse for being late to the meeting. Number 2, to make out. This means to discern or understand something, especially when it's difficult to see or hear. For example, I couldn't make out what he was saying over the noise of the crowd. I couldn't make out what he was saying over the noise of the crowd. Number 3, to make off with. This means to steal or take something quickly. For example, the thief made off with all the cash from the register. The thief made off with all the cash from the register. Number 4, to make for. This means to head towards a destination or to contribute to a particular result. For example, let's make for the exit before the rush starts. Let's make for the exit before the rush starts. Number 5, to make over. This means to renovate or to remodel something. For example, they made over their kitchen with new appliances and countertops. They made over their kitchen with new appliances and countertops. Number 6, to make up for. This means to compensate for a deficiency or a mistake. For example, I'll work extra hours to make up for the time I took off last week. I'll work extra hours to make up for the time I took off last week. Number 7, to make up. This means to reconcile or to resolve a disagreement. For example, after their argument, they made up and became friends again. After their argument, they made up and became friends again.